welcome to a video on how to get good at the Iron Citron, perhaps one of the most notoriously obnoxious opponents in the game. Players who are able to master this orange piece of shit covered in scrap metal will be able to piss off players as consistently as Wolfie screaming at PVZGW2 reflourished. Let's get started. The Iron Citron is a variant of the Citron class, who was initially abandoned by his parents in a junkyard, all because he got a C- in advanced mobility, and now, armed with his new suit of armor, constructed out of used urinals and other metallic shit, he is back with a vengeance. It is thanks to this suit of armor that Iron Citron has the second highest amount of health of any plant in the game, at a massive 250 hit points. This massive health pool allows him to sponge a lot of damage and makes it difficult to be killed when in a one-on-one scenario, especially if the enemy fort has a low potential damage output. However, like every armored variant, having this extra health does come at the price of lower movement speed. However, Iron Citron is not hit as hard in terms of the speed department, for whilst he may be slightly slower, it is only by 8.3%. This makes the speed penalty barely noticeable, even whilst in bull form. So for the most part, having the armored tray in this case benefits him greatly. The Iron Citron's primary weapon is one of the 3 weapons out of the Citron class that is not a laser beam, but instead a close-range bolt-action weapon that fires out a single shot before needing to reload. Every time a shot is fired, it takes 2 seconds to reload, giving it an extremely slow rate of fire. Each shot fired can deal 50 damage for a direct hit and up to 25 for the splash, in a fairly generous radius. The weapon does have a severe amount of drop-off, with it going all the way down to 15 damage for a direct hit and up to 7.5 damage for the splash, because of his fuck-off huge health pool and close-range bolt-action weapon. You can very easily go after low health opponents such as imps, and even scientists for that matter, for whilst they are able to rival you in damage output, they come nowhere near to rivaling your massive health pool, allowing you to kill them for free. Just don't try it against classes that have either 125 health or more, unless you know they've come out of a fight on low health, since the lengthy reload duration will end up with you either dead or just barely getting by, allowing someone else to finish you off. Additionally, whilst not exactly efficient in the slightest, the Iron Citron's weapon is very accurate, so if need be, you can poke at enemies from a distance. This will not exactly achieve much outside of annoying your enemies, but you may be able to snag the odd kill here and there. Now, we come to the main attraction of this legendary variant, his meter known as Iron Mode. Iron Mode follows the traditional charging requirements in needing 5 final blows against players, or 10 against AI cannon fodder, in order to be filled. Once this requirement is met and the meter has been filled, for the next 25 seconds, you will move 50% faster, take 25% less damage, and most importantly, have 5 shots per clip, instead of just 1. It's these 5 shots that allow you to rip through essentially any enemy like they're fucking tissue paper. When in Iron Mode, you can fire your weapon at 140 rounds per minute and you keep the increased clip size until Iron Mode expires. Because of how fast the weapon fires, low health enemies pretty much die next to instantaneously, and higher health classes come crashing to the ground. Z-Mechs can survive an entire clip from Iron Mode, but you do have access to EMP, so it is strongly suggested to engage the fight with it, as so that you can maximize your damage against them, whilst limiting their tools against you. Additionally, whilst this is not the most useful thing in the world, if at full health, Iron Mode allows the Iron Citron to tank a ZPG straight to the face. This rarely will ever happen, but if you feel like being a complete Chad and sponging what could be a fatal blow for your pocket flower, they will be forever grateful for your generosity for about 15 seconds, before throwing hate slurs at you for not killing the imp within 0.672 seconds of spotting it. The optimum upgrade setup for the Iron Citron would be the 2 reload upgrades and the health regeneration upgrade, with both of the reload upgrades being especially important since it reduces how much downtime there is between shots and allows you to fire much faster whilst outside of Iron Mode. and the health regeneration upgrade, since due to how much health you possess, getting it back relatively quickly becomes top priority. In terms of strengths, the Iron Citron's massive health pool of 250 close range power against low health classes and the immense power of Iron Mode allow him to easily get into fights and dominates thanks to his massive health pool. On top of that, despite being an armored variant, he barely suffers in terms of movement speed, allowing him to still chase after opponents that may attempt to flee from him. However, Iron Citron's bolt action weapon becomes substantially weaker against higher health opponents like All-Stars, SBs, and especially Z-Mechs when not in Iron Mode. Like every Citron, his weapon suffers from extremely harsh damage drop-off at mid to long range, making long-range combat against long-range specialists heavy against him. Thanks to this guide, you will now be the master of being the second tankiest piece of shit on the plant team and piss off imp and scientist mains as you selectively go after them, knowing full well that you cannot reliably take on literally anyone else. Be sure to come back for the next episode next week. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more shit like this. Have fun.